Hello everybody, and on today's elevator parts project, we're working on a long car operating panel that came from the one and the only Keener Parking Garage in St. Louis. Now this was a long mod that was done in the 1990s, so this panel has been around, well, since the 90s, and for what it is, it's in pretty good shape. You can see down here on the bottom, there's the emergency phone. The stop button was unfortunately replaced, but the alarm and most of the other buttons are original. The door close button and number 5 were replaced at some point. Here we have the 2 key switches and the fire service controls. Now the call cancel button on the fire service was replaced at some point, but the fire light is original. Here's the emergency light and that very iconic position indicator that Long used. And of course, the information. Now for those of you who don't know much about Long, they were a small elevator company based out of the Springfield, Illinois area. One of their offices was here in St. Louis, so there are a lot of installs in this area. They installed both hydraulic and traction elevators and designed their own controllers and microprocessors for each. Now they did use some third-party parts such as Monitor and GAL, but the electronics like the controllers, the little position indicators, and the chimes were all made and designed by Long. And that led to some of the interesting and quirky things about Long, such as the glitching out indicators, the very interesting chimes, and just other behaviors and noises that these elevators made. So with that being said, let's turn this thing around and see what's on the back. First we have the position indicator on the top, followed by the emergency light, the fire service stuff, the 2 key switches, the buzzer, a transformer, all of the buttons, and a big fat clump of wires. So before we can do anything, I'm going to take everything off this panel so we can take a closer look at it and obviously clean it up so it's not so disgusting. And now you can see here we have a very naked panel, except for the brails and the labels, which don't come off very easily. And here on the table you can see all the stuff that I pulled off, and there was a lot of stuff on this panel. So now let's take a closer look at all of the parts, and we'll start off with the stop switch. Now this was a replaced stop switch. This is actually an Adams stop switch. And you can see it's in, well, very gross shape, which that will be cleaned up. But it's just your standard Adams stop switch, nothing super exciting. Next we have the alarm button, and I should probably note that these are monitor buttons, and Long used monitor buttons, and I emphasize buttons for a reason. Pulling the button apart, you can see the 3 pieces that make it up. Here's the button part here with the little contacts. There's also a little spring. This here is the little cover, which holds the button into the base. And then of course you have the actual base with the 4 little metal pieces for the contacts. And for each button, I'm going to clean the metal, so get the actual button cleaned up, and also clean off the contacts so they're nice and shiny. Here are the cleaned up open and close buttons. And here's one of the floor buttons with the little LED light on the back. And this is what the little LED bar looks like. You can see there are 2 red LEDs on the little circuit board. It has a 5-watt resistor and some diodes. This here is a newer and cleaned up version of the same board, and it does the exact same thing, but without the diodes. And so over the course of a couple of hours, I managed to get all of the buttons cleaned up and restored. Here's a closer look at the little fire service buzzer. Here are the 2 key switches. Now note that these are GAL key switches and not monitor. Long used monitor buttons and GAL key switches. Here we have the fire service key, which was replaced with a more modern key switch. Here we have the little fire service indicator. This is the little cover, which is the GAL style, and then they have the monitor base on the back. Here's the call cancel button, which is a monitor button. Here's the emergency light, and here's the cover before cleaning. It's kind of dirty. Obviously we have the 2 light bulbs on the inside, and this was really nasty. And then after cleaning it up, it looks very nice. Next we have the position indicator. This is the little cover, which is red and was cleaned up. Here's the actual indicator itself, and it consists of 2 circuit boards pushed together, so they have to be pulled apart. Here's the first board with the little display on the front, and then turning to the back you can see all of the different chips. Here's the other board. This is like your input board, and this is where you put all your inputs to make the different numbers display. Here's a little car ID plate. And finally, we have the emergency phone, which I just gave a quick wipe down because it was very disgusting. This is what the back looks like, and you can see now it's all shiny. Now the final part of the restoration is the actual panel. Now this thing was in pretty good shape for our parking garage, but yet it was in a parking garage, so there was a lot of grime and a lot of dirt built up over the years. So I took some time to really make sure that I cleaned this thing out, get all the dirt off, and then I shined it up so it looks really nice. And for a parking garage panel, this thing is in very good shape. Now that all the pieces have been cleaned and restored, it's time to put everything back onto the panel. Now that the restoration is complete, it's time to begin with the wiring. I saved all the original wires that were already on this panel and reused them for my circuit. Here's what the wiring looks like before I've done any wire management. You can see it is quite a mess, but it is fully functional and it works on 120 volts. All of the original components were still used. I cut and painted 2 pieces of wood, and now these are going to be used for kind of multiple reasons. First of all, it's going to provide structure and support for the panel so it's not so floppy. It also looks really nice. And it also makes it harder to reach behind and touch a live terminal and zap yourself. And to finish it all off, I put the long emblem right back to where it belongs, at the very bottom of the panel. And now this project is complete. This was a lot of work and it took me a lot of time to get it into the state that it's in, but this gross panel has been cleaned up, wired up, and it is ready to do some cool things. You can see here on the back I have wire managed some so it's not so messy, and it definitely looks a lot better. My little cord just kind of clips on the side, and so let's go ahead and plug this thing in and see what it'll do. First we have the alarm button, which rings the fire service buzzer. Each of the buttons have an LED behind them, so when you press in the button, you see that the LEDs light up. As well as LEDs lighting up, pressing the floor button changes the indicator to the corresponding floor. Now you may notice pressing the S button displays a 1. If you place the key into the independent service and then press S again, you'll notice it changes to an S, which more looks like a 5, but you can turn it back off and hit S again, and it turns back to 1. The light and fan key switch does nothing at the moment. And finally, the fire service key turns on the little fire light. So that's it for this project video. Hope you enjoyed taking a look at me wiring and restoring this long car panel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.